so you know who kind of made the decisions between the family. Being in New York City, you have to be a tough guy. Being a woman in the 50s, she had to hold her own, and she did. And every couple of years, they would come to Colorado, where I was growing up, and they would visit my mom and my brother and myself. And this is when you know your grandparents love you, because they're coming to colorful Colorado from New York, where there's mountains that are 13,000 feet high, and snow, and aspens turning colors. And they, 5 out of the 7 days they were there, they would hang out at the hotel and watch me and my younger brother swim in the pool. So it was a vacation for us too. And one time when they came out, they stayed in a little not one room motel, that would be like a house, but sort of a 1-story motel, where you drive up in the car and you get out and you walk into the room, and in this particular motel, you walk out and there's the pool. And it was an outdoor pool, and it's July in Colorado, so it's hot. The pool was unheated, and the evenings get cold. So we got there in the morning, and my grandfather and I usually went swimming. My grandmother would pull up a lawn chair, read a crime story novel, and chain smoke. So she was sitting there in the lawn chair, and my grandfather was like, "Do you want to go swimming?" Absolutely. Cottage cheese coming out of his mouth, because he was always eating cottage cheese. And we put our foot in the water, and we go, oh. It was so cold. It was colder than the creek I grew up next to. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And he looks at me, I'm 7 years old, and he says, "The best way to do this is just go one step at a time, so our body can get used to it." Okay, good idea. Take a step, put the other foot in. Now he's kind of taking 2 steps to my 1, so his body parts are sort of equal with mine, being 7. And we wait a few minutes, and time flies by with my grandfather. He tells stories, he tells bad dad jokes, except for the grandpa jokes, so they're even worse. Cottage cheese still coming out of his mouth. He was always on a diet, no, he's always eating cottage cheese. And we talk for a while, and they take another step. Now it's up to our knees. Talk for a little while longer. Take another step, now it's up to our thighs. Right, the water is getting close to the bottom of my swimming trunks. And now we're coming up to the big plunge. He's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "I'm ready." The water comes up. I'm 7, I don't know how kids are made, but I have a feeling I'm never gonna have any. Because whatever's down there is down in my pancreas. And I'm going, and he's going, and then you start to calm down, and you start to get used to it. Actually, you're just getting numb. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, the next step is here, and by then, now we can just get in and start swimming. It's okay. So we're getting ready, and it's been probably 45 minutes. And we're ready to take the step, not knowing that my grandmother had went back into the motel, gotten dressed, popped her head out, and right as we're ready to take the step, says, "Okay, come in, it's time for lunch." And we went, it was like 11, right? So we were there for like 45 minutes. So now we have to get back out of the pool, and my grandfather leans over and says, "Next time, I think it's better if we just jump in." And I said, "Yeah, I think so too." So after lunch, we jumped in. So today, and I'm going to contradict myself a little bit later this afternoon, but it'll make sense. But today, have the mindset, as you've already been doing, to jump in. So don't just test the water with those we're talking to and what we're talking with. Now we're going to warm you guys up a little more into storytelling, which is the section we're doing now, of course. Because I have Patrick, my daughter named him Patrick the T-Rex. He's my visual to say sometimes we have a mighty roar, but we don't say anything because our reach, we feel, is not long enough. But here's Patrick, and we're going to do a 1-word story. We're going to start with Sam, just because he's over at the corner, not because he's co-hosting. And actually, I'll start with me, and then I'll go to Sam, and we're going to go in the room, and you can only share 1 word in continuation of the story of what the previous person or people had said. Does that make sense? Okay. We're going to share the story about Patrick, and we'll see what happens when we get to the end. So I'll start. Patrick was